This is Late Night Health. This is the radio show that cares about the most important part of your life, your health. During the next hour, the insane Daryl Wayne and I are going to take a look at a variety of health issues that really touch each and every one of us, especially now that we're stuck at home and we need to be proactive in providing health for ourselves and our family. We're going to spend some time with NFL legend Brett Farve, who says that he's been diagnosed with 10 concussions. And we're going to talk about preventing concussions, not only in professional sports, but also at home. Brett, welcome to Late Night Health from Mississippi.
Well, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Let's talk about concussions. They're a lot more serious than people have thought in the past, aren't they?
Well, they're a lot more serious than one thought. Not too long ago, I've been retired from football for roughly 10 years and played 20 years in the National Football League, starting in 1991. And I would say probably for 16 to 17 of those years, which would be up to about 2006, 2007, if you were to, as a player, if you were to have a concussion during a game, it was almost a guarantee that you would go back in that game if you even were to come out of the game for a play, because no one thought that concussions were as serious as they are. But as science has since proven, there's much more to a concussion than for 5 minutes or for however long you're dizzy or you're seeing stars. In football, at least, one of the common or several common ways of describing a concussion, a player may say he saw stars or fireworks, or may have even blacked out, or you may see a player get up off the ground and shake his head. Those are all indications of a concussion, and there's obviously more severe and not as severe concussions, but still. And Dr. Amalu, who if you didn't watch the movie Concussion, which really kind of set the stage for where concussions are today, it kind of outlined how serious they are. And really, it's not the major concussion, although that's a serious issue in itself. If you've had one major concussion in your life, that could be your downfall. But really, if you think of it from a boxer's standpoint, it's not really the knockout blow that does as much damage as it is just the repeated jabs, if that makes sense.
Sure.
And the same goes to football. You get a little, in football, a term that is used often as a ding. I got dinged up a little bit. I was a little woozy there for a play, but I came back to my senses. Well, what now is known is that little brief spell will add up over time, because if you play football, almost every play you're getting dinged up, and the cumulative effect of those can be deadly. And so, it's really a serious issue.
Brett,
you're seeing guys in the NFL in the prime of their career retiring, like this past year, a linebacker from the Carolina Panthers, a guy named Luke Kuechly, was in the prime of his career and chose to retire right before a huge contract because of concussions. You're seeing that a little more common today. You would never have seen someone retire because of concussions back 20 years ago.
Well, also, because of what we know now with the cumulative effects of concussion, there's no amount of money that you can pay anybody to know that in 10 years that you won't know who you are.
Yeah, what good is millions of dollars if you don't know where your car keys are, or you even know how to drive a car,
or if you know your name,
live a normal life every day, and know who your family is and your friends are, and be able to have a normal conversation, and that is happening to a lot of retired players, that you're hearing stories more frequent about a guy committing suicide, or forgetting where he lives, or having all kinds of medical problems due to brain injuries. It's not worth it.
No, of course it's not worth it. And now there's a prophylactic remedy that can help prevent the effects of concussion. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so I invested in a company, Prevacus is the base company, and we've been working for probably 7 years at getting Prevacus, which Prevacus itself is requires FDA approval for this drug to be in mainstream, and we're still a ways away from that. But while we've been working with this with Prevacus, and I say we, the CEO and developer, Jake Van Landingham, and I'm by no means, don't ask me any science questions, don't ask me anything about ingredients and all that stuff. That's not my cup of tea, and I don't even want to even act like I know. But I believe in what Jake was the neuroscience professor, or head of the neuroscience department at Florida State University when I met him. And he was pitching this product to me through Prevacus that obviously requires FDA approval. Well, that's a long, drawn-out ordeal, but that's a little more complicated. But it's a treatment for concussions. Well, really, kind of accidentally, Jake fell into this. I don't want to say fell into it, but he developed this product that does not require FDA approval. That is basically that you, more or less, you would rub this cream on your neck or on your kid's neck before a football game or before a motocross event or hockey or soccer or even elderly.
Skateboarding.
The list, skateboarding, you name it. If you think that your child, your mother or father or someone is in jeopardy of a concussion, potentially, you rub this cream on your neck, and within minutes, it is providing anti-inflammatory protection for the brain for 7 hours. And there's nothing out there right now that will do that. And will it prevent a concussion? I can't say it would prevent a concussion, but it may take a severe concussion and downgrade it to maybe a mild concussion because you already have this protection in the brain.
Our guest is Brett Farve, and we are talking about concussions. Concussions that at one point people thought were easy and mild, to now concussions can come back and affect a person's life years later, changing personality, making you, as Brett said, not knowing where your car is, not knowing how to drive it, not knowing where your keys are, and much, much more. It's very severe. We've got up here on our website, we have our website that you can take a look at how to get it and what it actually does. We're going to take time out. When we come back, Brett and I will continue our discussion on concussion and Prevapro here on Late Night Health. Join us at latenighthealth.com. Recently, I met Jacqueline from Bright here in Los Angeles. She gave me a hearing exam and then showed me how to hear again with the new Signia Pure Series hearing aids, and she can give you your life back too. I hear birds chirping, birds cooing, and even my wife. They easily connect to my smartphone. The Signia hearing aids are amazing, and with the charge and go, I don't have to fiddle with batteries and hear all day long. Not hearing is frustrating for you and your family. I know you don't have a problem, but trust me, call Bright Here now for a free hearing exam, a $125 value, yours free, just for making an appointment now. There are offices throughout the Los Angeles area. Call Bright Here now at 323-424-7100. That's 323-424-7100 for a free hearing exam. There's no obligation. Call now, 323-424-7100, or visit them on the web at brighthere.com. Late Night Health is proud of our partnership with the EBC, the Evolutionary Business Council. Check them out at ebcouncil.com.
You're listening to Late Night Health with Mark Alyn. The show continues in a moment.
The latest from the greatest, the best in new music by classic rockers, with your host, the insane Daryl Wayne.
This is Alice Cooper, and if Daryl Wayne is insane, what does that make me? Criminally insane. Stick around to find out.
Many of the artist interviews for the latest from the greatest have been captured on audio book. There is a Volume 1 and Volume 2. Great information and conversations with people in the industry and people surrounded by the industry, and of course the rock stars themselves.
I'm the Reverend Al Green, and you're listening to the insane Daryl Wayne. And I said Wayne Insane.
You can find it on Amazon or Blackstone Audio. Search for the latest from the greatest from Daryl Wayne, Darrell Wayne.
Hello, this is Weird Al Yankovic, and you're listening to the insane Daryl Wayne, aren't you?
There's a lot of talk all over the internet about the remarkable benefits of Carbon-60, and baby boomers are especially excited about it. Greska's Carbon-60 is the premium Carbon-60, developed by an aerospace and NASA scientist. 95% of Greska's customers report positive results from this Nobel Prize-winning technology in just 4 days. Imagine more energy, better health, and more vitality. It's very bioavailable to quickly mend toxin-crippled cells. This is a super powerful antioxidant. Bob Greska is so confident that you'll love his Carbon-60, he wants to send you a bottle at 50% off the regular price. To see how life-changing this will be for you, call 720-600-6040. That's 720-600-6040. Visit c-60.com to learn more. Call 720-600-6040 now or visit c-60.com. This is Late Night Health. I'm Mark Alyn, along with the insane Daryl Wayne. Hey, Daryl, we're talking about concussions. In radio, have you ever had a concussion?
Well, in radio, yes, but not by broadcasting. I mean, nobody's hit me over the head with a baseball bat. But doing the engineering side, I've had a couple of things like fall on my head a couple of times. And actually, golf is where I got hit most of the head, was with flying golf balls.
Oh, I hadn't thought about that.
But it used to be when people said, "Oh, you have a concussion," they just said, "Oh, well, don't let him sleep for a while and just keep him up and around, and everything will be okay." And it's not okay.
No, it's not okay.
Is that Brett? Is that still a thing to do if somebody has a concussion? You keep them walking around. You don't let them sleep. Do you know?
I suppose I really don't hear. I'm well aware of that treatment, if you want to call it treatment, but I don't hear much about that anymore. I think if there's any inclination that you've had a concussion, say in high school sports, for example, immediately you are removed from the game, and you will not go back in until you pass a concussion protocol baseline test that is given to you prior to the start of the season. Same thing for pro football. Now, say your kid has a concussion at home. I suppose that protocol that you mentioned about careful your sleep, blah, 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 I suppose that's still in effect. I don't know how accurate that is because, again, that's a protocol that was put in place before we knew that concussions were as serious as they are.
Got it. And then PrevaPro is designed to, I guess, lessen the effects of concussion.
Correct.
Is that the bottom line of PrevaPro?
Yes, I would say more than anything that's very accurate. That this is providing, like when anyone say you go skiing and you injure yourself, maybe bruise a knee and you go to a doctor and he says, well, I'm just going to prescribe you an anti-inflammatory. Well, this is actually, if you think about it, this is providing that before you actually harm yourself. And you may not have a concussion. You may not get your head banged. But it's not going to hurt you, which is the great thing about this is that there's nothing banned in the ingredients. Nothing that will do you harm, whether you have a concussion or not. This is providing you with anti-inflammatory protection, which you have to go back. One of the main things, if not the main problem with the concussion, is swelling of the brain. That's ultimately what causes everything. The brain swells during a concussion. The more it swells, the more damage occurs. So anti-inflammatory protection reduces swelling. So it's actually there prior to the event that you're going to take part in. So you're actually beating it to the punch, if that makes sense.
One of the, I just thought of something while we're here. I just got a text from my wife, and I was thinking, sometimes wives kind of bang on husbands, and I'm being somewhat facetious, but if you're around the house and maybe clumsy, or elderly people who tend to fall, this could be something to be used
Absolutely.
daily.
This is a game changer. And I think the elderly, I know the military, we've had great discussions with the military, which is a perfect candidate for this, like the elderly. Elderly are prone to injure themselves, and the one injury that you really can't afford more than anything is a head injury. I don't care how old you are. Definitely the elderly. You rub this on the neck and provide 7 hours of anti-inflammatory protection. I think is definitely a game changer.
You said that you got involved with this with Dr. Jake. What motivated you to spend and invest your hard-earned money, almost $1 million, into this program?
Yeah, when I first met Jake through a mutual friend, who's actually he's a good friend of mine. He's a doctor here in Hattiesburg where I live, and he's a neck and brain surgeon, so he's way smarter than I am. And he connected the two of us. And basically he said, I just want you to hear what Dr. Jake has to say, and he needs someone to help get the word out of what he's doing. And so I heard his pitch, and it sounded great. And when our first initial meeting, concussions were just starting to get very serious. So I wasn't quite as gung-ho when I left out of that meeting to get involved. I thought he was well on his way to something great. But as the cascade of concussion talk has unfolded, I became more and more serious. I have 3 grandsons, 10, 5, and 2. And I personally have no desire to see them play football. Now, I'm not going to tell them, no, don't play. But if they were to say, they call me Pawpaw, if they were to say, Pawpaw, we'd rather play golf, I would be more thrilled to hear that than them say they want to play football, just because right now there is no treatment for concussion. And to think that they would go out there, they're going to get a concussion. And it's a roulette wheel is basically what it is. One guy may not show any after effects of a concussion. The next kid may have all kinds of problems. And I have too much fear for someone in my family to play. Now, granted that there is a treatment or a solution, you're not going to prevent concussions. They're going to happen. But we need to be able to treat them. This will treat them.
Right.
And offer a great deal of protection that there's absolutely zero there now. Then that's how I really became more passionate about it.
Would you say that there's an epidemic of undiagnosed concussions?
Absolutely. There's no clear-cut definition as to a concussion. But you see a boxer get hit and his knees buckle and he goes down. I think we all can agree that's a concussion. The problem is the gray area. And as Dr. Amalu told me personally, he said the gray area is a concussion. Seeing stars for 2 minutes, or you a loud bang when, like sound like guns went off or a cannon went off. That is a concussion. It may not be as severe as being out cold for 5 minutes, but he said it can have the same effects long term as a major concussion, and that's scary.
It is, and especially if somebody is doing something that's routinely you're getting hit in the head, like boxing. I mean, I think of Muhammad Ali. I mean, it's that constant beating on the head. You guys at the NFL, the high school guys playing football, all of these things, and of course just life in general, getting a car accident. There are a number of things. Brett, we really appreciate your time today. So let me give the website. If you're interested in taking a look at PrevPro, you go to PREVPRO. That's PREVPRO.com for more information. This is a doctor-formulated, smooth, non-sticky, fragrance-free topical cream that has a cascade of effects that may occur after a head impact. And I think that it's something you should look into, especially if your kids are playing sports. Brett, thank you very much for joining us today here on Late Night Health. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, and I hope to talk with you guys again soon.
Yeah, we'll do this again. I appreciate it. And you're in Mississippi, so enjoy some good old barbecue for me. I miss it.
Yeah, you got it. You got it.
Okay. Well, that brings us to the end of this segment. We thank you, Brett, for joining us. Coming up next, we're going to take a look at COVID-19 and breast cancer. I'm Mark Alyn, along with the insane Daryl Wayne. Don't go away. There's more coming up as we continue.
Sometimes it's not what you say, it's how you say it. Words are a critical aspect of success. How you get your point across is a crucial part of what makes anything sell. So do it right and hire a writer. Whether it's articles, blog posts, technical writings, website content, product descriptions, or ghostwriting anything from a novel to a nonfiction book about your navel, contact Servet Hassan. If you want it to sell, write it right. Email Servet at servet@servethassan.com.